Hello, I'm Anna, and this is the Yoga Teacher's Hustle. Welcome back. For those that don't know who I am or have never listened to a podcast by me, I'm a yoga instructor that's been practicing for 20 years, but teaching for 9 of them, who's encountered quite a lot of different things during my teaching career and are what the podcast's about. So they're just things that you wouldn't normally think about while you're doing your training, but would probably crop up at times and you're not quite sure how to handle them. So today, one of the things we're going to discuss is lighting in the room. And I know that sounds like a bit of a strange concept, but I was on a forum yesterday and there was a lady that was questioning whether teachers should be allowed to turn the lights down or if they should have them up, or they were part of a gym collective and they wanted to be able to dim the lights, but they couldn't because it meant turning them off. And there was just a lot of conversation that followed from that and a lot of comments. So I wanted to just discuss that with everybody. Now, you see, I'm a very technical teacher. I do a lot of meditative type based yoga. I do a lot of energy healing. And I actually use more than just the yogic philosophy. So I work with the Buddhist Zen philosophy, Chinese medicine, Christian philosophy. I mean, energy healing, chakras, Reiki. There's all different things that I incorporate into a class. So probably not your typical yoga class as such. So when I'm actually teaching and I'm teaching physical moves, I like to be able to see what people are doing. So I want to make sure alignment's correct. I like to see people's faces. I want to see their bodies. I found that very difficult with Zoom during COVID because I really do like to engage with what's going on and see how people are responding to me. Also, I like to have the light on because I want the students to be able to see me properly. And if they can see me properly, then I know that they've got a fighting chance of getting things correct themselves. Now, I do understand you have sort of moments at the beginning where you may want to share a poem or such like things, or I do understand at the end you might want to, there's a certain system that you work with for cooling down and meditative states and things. So you may want to have the lights off then. But for me, during the daytime, during a class, I do like to be able to see what's going on. Also, I also have a bit of night blindness. So when I turn the lights off, I can't even see the limbs of people, let alone faces. So for me, I do have to have the lights on. However, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of a story about my own situation when I attended a class with the lights, which were very, very dark. And how I felt about it, but how I saw other people respond to that. So I went to a day spa with a friend, and we're both, I've obviously been doing yoga a long time, and my friend has also been doing it a fair while as well. And we went and joined the yoga class in the morning, and the teacher was a very, very lovely person, and she had her delivery of the class was really good, but she had the lights on a low amount. Now for me, I really enjoyed that because I didn't really look at the teacher very often. I was listening, I had my eyes closed in some of it, I was moving through this because I knew the positioning, I knew where I needed to be, and I was just listening to her and her voice. She also didn't give very much in the way of descriptions or anything technically based. It was more, this is the move, we're in it, now we're into this move and now we're into that move. It was slow, and it was for me, it was kind of beautiful because when you're teaching all the time, it's really lovely to go to a class where you feel like you really engage with the teacher and you're being taught. However, around me, this was a day spa. This wasn't a yoga studio. This was a day spa, and around me there were people that had never done yoga before, and they were trying to get into positions. They're looking up at the teacher, and the teacher wasn't particularly looking back at them, and it was hard to see what the teacher was doing. So I do know there's a lot of you, there's going to be controversy on this one because there's a lot of you out there that's going to be saying, well, I like to have the lights off because I think it brings in and it helps with the serotonin and it cuts out stimuli. And I completely agree. As an experienced yoga follower, I really enjoy the lights off when I'm following another teacher. But not everybody is going to be as experienced as that. And that is something that needs to be considered. I think it's also worth considering the type of student that you're going to be having with you when you're teaching your classes. Now, I understand that We all want that perfect student. We all want to have a class full of people that enjoy yoga and that are going to completely embrace what we're doing and are completely involved, and that can kind of hold their own in the class, and they know the moves, and they will want to go into that darkness and cut out that stimuli. But I think there's something to remember here, that people are coming to you because they don't know how to do yoga. They don't know how to do yoga. They don't know how to do they don't know the aspects of the philosophy that you're teaching. They come to you because they're brand new to this. So sometimes, if you're running a class with kind of ambitious beginners that understand the concept, then maybe a darkness is essential during a more physical part of the class. I'm not saying that you should always have the lights on, and if you don't want the lights on, don't have them on. But I just want you to consider the fact that if you're having complete beginners that are a bit frightened to be in that classroom, aren't sure what they're meant to be doing, need to see you, need to be near you, and you've put the lights down to a point where you can just about see them, it is worth considering making sure that if you can see people are wearing glasses, or like myself, actually asking, does anybody suffer with kind of a night blindness? Because I know if I go to a room where the lights are dimmed, I cannot see that person very well at all. During the daytime, my vision's 20/20, but at night time, I do have this problem. And what I'd hate to happen is for students to not come back because they felt like they couldn't see or they couldn't engage in the class because of the lights being low. So I know it's going to be controversial. I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, well, I do it and they're just fine and things. But I just wanted to put it from my point of view for somebody that can't see very well, and how important it is for me to be viewing the teacher during the physical phases, having the lights down low all the time, and having my eyes strain, because it actually makes me, if it's very dark in a room and I'm having to do things in the dark, it actually gives me eye strain, which causes me to have migraines, which can make me very tired and fatigued. And I don't want to attend, I don't want people to attend my class and feel fatigued because they're having to use a lot of energy to be able to view me. So I know it's a very random topic to bring up, but I think it's just something that I've had. Not only have I been in a situation where I can't see the teacher, but actually I was quite comfortable with it. I've also had students come to me and speak to me and say, I can't see you very well if the lights are low, especially if it's summertime and say the clouds have gone out, or we're in a room where we go in and it's summertime and early summer and it's quite light when we go in, and as the room starts to get dark, the lights go a bit lower and people say, I can't see you. By the end of it, I feel like I can't see you properly. So it's just something to consider. So just a quick one today to talk about the lighting. But just do ask your students, especially if you're new to this and you're in a class, if they want the lights down, ask them how they feel about having the lights up. The best way to gauge whether it's right for your class is to literally talk to the students, because they are your bread and butter, they are your following, they are what's going to bring the money in, and they're the ones that are engaging in your style of yoga and what you prefer to do. So just ask for feedback. I mean, every now and again in a class, I do ask for feedback. I sometimes give out leaflets for people to tick and say what they prefer to do, or I just stand at the front and say, at the end, I'm going to ask for feedback, and if anybody wants any particular classes. So do kind of encourage that, because as a yoga teacher, you can get a bit complacent in your classes, when actually sometimes it's good to sort of ask what's going on in their lives, because it might help you change the class. Not change, I think that's wrong, but just add an aspect to the class that particular week or in the future that is just going to bring in a different angle, which is going to make them feel like you're really listening to them and you're really engaging with them. Because after all, yoga, as much as it's your growth and you're doing a teacher, you're teaching because these people are having a spiritual growth themselves. So thank you very much for joining me today. And if you have anything you want to share about that, and I would say, in the comments, I'm happy to hear things like criticism, but let's just do things with a little bit of consideration for everybody that's reading, and try and build it as a nice open community where there's an open discussion that's considerate. I don't want to be rude, but I do read sometimes on these forums when there's comments coming up that some people are unknowingly a little bit egotistic about things, and I really don't want other people to be upset by other people's comments. So that's just something to consider. If you are enjoying this podcast, do click like and subscribe, because it will just also it's good to grow that community, and I think by liking it as well, it's shown me that I'm giving you the right material and that you are listening to what you feel is relevant for you. Okay, well, take care of yourselves and we'll speak next time. Bye-bye.